Everybody, welcome back to the shop. I'm Dave, and it is Wednesday morning, January the 21st. 6 a.m. on the dot. Just waiting for everybody to grab their coffee. Here we go. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Here we go. Just gathering a few items here. So that we can discuss the day. So it looks like the weather for Texas is they are still they're talking about a bad storm moving here through the weekend, actually being cold. Hey Kim, how's it going? Dave, Elliot, thank you for joining us this morning on TikTok. Appreciate it. If this is your first time here for morning coffee talk, welcome. Let me know where you're from. We're just kind of getting started here, so talking about the weather for a minute. Hey Nicole, how's it going this morning? Good morning. Got Kim with us over here on YouTube. Country Shots just joined. Hey man. Ty Kessler. Inside a riot. Inside a riot, really. Oh, that's not a bad handle. That's pretty good. I mean, some people are really witty when it comes to their TikTok handles. Abby, 3466. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being up with me this time of the morning. So I'm guessing that yesterday, being Tuesday and it being a 3-day weekend, that a lot of you, that yesterday was kind of like your Tuesday, or excuse me, your Monday. And today's actually Tuesday. So just think about this. Excuse me. Today's Wednesday. My whole time's off from. Thanks for keeping me on the straight and narrow. Blair Cohen joined. Thank you. Tell me you joined. Thank you. Jeff Guerrera joined. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining this morning. I mean, I can't tell you that, without all you guys, I wouldn't be here doing this. So I have to tell you what's free on the channel. Gail Ann joined over here on YouTube. It's free to like, share, and follow. Everybody who does that during the live gets the same treatment at the end. If you have any questions, one of the things that we that I always ask, if you're new here, make sure you let me know. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the follow there. Make sure you, like I said, like, share, follow. If you want to join the fan club, send me one of the little heart emojis that automatically adds you to that. And without all of you engaging, that's what makes the live go great. Not Donald, someone else. It's time to go vegan or return to the Garden of Eden. Subscribe. Thank you. Thank you for the subscribe. I appreciate you over here on YouTube. Nice car worked on. Okay. Nicest car you worked on. So just so you know, Dave's shop is like, it's my shop at and the reason I call it Dave's Shops, because it's where all my tools are. It's where I do all my projects, woodworking. I do, I don't really work on cars much anymore, but just because technology tools and that type of stuff. It's more like around the house projects, things that, you could do yourself, but a lot of people don't. They hire it out. One of the things I did last weekend was insulate my garage door. I couldn't do that on a live. George, thank you for the follow. I couldn't do that on live because I've tried doing projects before on live, and it's just too distracting. I can't keep enough attention on both. So what I did on this one is I'm currently in the process of making a video, and I will post that so you can see the steps and what I did to insulate the garage door. I've actually got 3 panels I haven't completed yet because I wanted to show it to you in the video. So hopefully I'll get that done today, but we'll see. What about the weather, guys? It's crazy, isn't it? At least for Texas, everybody's panicking. I'm really not sure why, but they're saying it's going to be really cold for here. And we might get a little sleet or ice. I think more north of here, more like in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it could be a little rougher there. Up in the Panhandle, possibly. But it is supposed to get to Central Texas. I think Friday night and over the weekend is supposed to be kind of bad weather, but we'll see. And in Texas, when we have ice and stuff, it could. Wow, Nicole's where she's at, 16 inches of snow. And I mean, if you live in ice is coming to Southwest Missouri, where George is at. Let's see when you are. Yeah, they do. You're right, Gail Ann. Sometimes when you're retired, the days run together. But I want to tell you, so it's been 2 weeks, 3 days, and I have literally been swamped with stuff to do. But I hadn't taken a vacation in a really long time. I mean, I have when they let me go, I had 10 weeks of vacation time. So the job I had was pretty demanding, and I rarely could take more than a day or two at a time off because there was nobody else that could step in and do what I was doing. So, yeah. So I didn't get to take a whole lot of vacation. So I guess when I finally do get 2 or 3 weeks together, I've just got all kinds of stuff going on. Ice come. So anyway, I don't know how it is everywhere else, but like here in Texas, when they say there's a bad ice storm coming, it's going to hit over the weekend. I mean, people just go crazy. They flood the supermarkets, and you would think that there is an apocalypse coming because they will, they're like a pack of locusts run through the grocery store. There won't be anything on the shelves, and it's crazy why people behave that way. And I think they said at the worst, we're talking about 2, maybe 3 days on the outside where it's bad enough weather that they suggest that you stay home and stay off the roads unless you have to be. So yeah, Bondi needs to go. Okay, Matt over here on YouTube. Thank you. Clarity Whistler of Hollywood. Oh, thanks for joining us over here on YouTube. I appreciate that. Hey, so I hope this doesn't stir up anything. But I have a question, and I'm hoping that I could get some clarification on it this morning. KP just joined over here on TikTok. Thank you. So no snow in Wyoming yet. It's really strange. Not good for our. Yeah. Yeah. So here in Texas, it's been really dry. We have not had much. So today, I think they said it was a 70% chance of rain, not freezing rain. The winds have been out of the northwest, and then last night they changed and moved out of the south. So the humidity came back up. So maybe that's the rain we're supposed to be getting today. I'm never really a big fan of ice. I tell people all the time, hey, if there's ice on the road, stay home. It's not worth trying to fight your way to work when there's ice on the roads, because if somebody hits you and runs over your $30,000 car or your $5,000 car, maybe your only car, your job's not going to pay for it. So yeah, it's not worth it. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I know I've done it. I've, braved the weather and went to work anyway. And I did that until one year we had a really bad ice storm, and they just, were demanding people come to work. Mr. Mac 1257. No, probably not. I got some other stuff going though, but thank you for the invite. I appreciate that. Mr. Mac 1257 is coming to Texas from Australia, and he's going to see Steven Seagal in the convention center there in Dallas on Friday. They're saying the weather on Friday is going to be really bad, so I hope your flight or anything like that doesn't get delayed. Now let me get back to where I was thinking. So here's the question I have for you. Greenland. Have I missed something? Which is, totally possible. But have I missed something? Is there, hey Thomas, on YouTube, thanks man, appreciate you for joining us this morning. Is there something I missed on Greenland? I mean, why would, hey Born God, thank you for chiming in here, buddy. Why do we need to have control? Now, I've listened to what the media has kind of said, that it's supposed to be for national security, blah, 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 blah. But I'm still confused. And I'm just curious if everybody else is as confused about it as I am. We do not need Greenland. This is Mowing God's comment. We don't need Greenland for the umbrella. I already proven that 7 years ago. DM is also confused. Nicole says she thinks it's for oil. So one in Greenland is for resources again, baby boomer green. It all boils down to oil. Really? Oil. Okay. I thought that there were some, so this is just bits and pieces that I've picked up. I don't think it's really for national security because A, we already have military base there. Two, if we were really worried about it, I think we would have more than 200 military staff in that base. And we could, if we felt like we needed more there, there's nothing stopping us from expanding. the people of Greenland are like, hey, come on, come on, come on. You know, I hate to say it. I was watching something popped up on my YouTube feed yesterday when I had just a minute to sit down, and it was talking about Greenland and the native people to Greenland, and what you know, that Greenland's three times the size of Texas, my God. So that's how big it is, but it's covered in ice, and there's only a couple of strips of land where most of the population lives. One's on one side of the island, the other's on the other side. My entire anatomy inherited. Davenport, Iowa. Thank you for joining us. George, how could China hold it or resupply any beachhead? Yeah, well, see, George, I have to ask that same question, because after watching that video, you know, they're talking, in the video, they're talking about why Greenland hasn't expanded and really grown their economy and stuff. Jamie on TikTok, hey man, how's it going? And what they said is it's because of the weather. It's because it's all covered in ice. The shipping lanes have lots of ice in them, and it can sink ships. And so it makes it really difficult for them to navigate to get goods from other countries, from Europe to Greenland. So I just, like I said, I just didn't know if everybody else was as confused about what all the whoopla is about. Mr. Trump, I have to 100% disagree with your behavior and when it comes to Greenland. I just don't understand it. And, you know, if there's something that we just don't all know about, I wish he would just step up and tell us. Otherwise, I wish he would shut up and quit acting like an ass. Just my opinion. And I voted for the guy, but I still don't like him acting like an ass. A lot of people joining here. Let me catch up on the minerals. So yeah, that was the other thing. I read another article saying that because of global warming, that some of the ice cap on Greenland has started to melt away, exposing more area of land where there's, I don't know what minerals are there that we need or would like to have. I thought it was some kind of minerals due to for making batteries, but maybe I'm wrong. The Roman army, Ivy. Yeah. You know, over history, and that's the other thing. It got into the history of Greenland and how different cultures tried to come to Greenland and thought that they were going to take over, you know, that area, and only to realize that they weren't really prepared for the kind of weather that they have there. And the weather is extremely brutal there. And I think the native people are called Inuit, and they've been there for hundreds of thousands of years. And they are the, you know, kind of like the American Indian here in Texas. Yep, I was right. So in Greenland, there are specific minerals that are there that Greenland holds some of the largest undeveloped REE deposits outside of China. Uranium, iron ore, zinc and lead, nickel, cobalt, copper, gold, graphite, titanium. Okay, so now it makes me wonder, are we wanting to take over because we want to try to mine or do something for the minerals. I don't know. Oh my God. Yeah. Amen. Sorry. That's the belong does. Yeah. Anyway, so I can see everybody else is about as confused as I am about it. I just, it's surely with all the things that are going on in the United States, and I just think there's other things that could be, that we should be focused on. Because they landed a boat there. Well, and see, I don't understand that either, Gail Ann. What was that? Yeah. Survival of the fittest. Yeah, and the thing is too is Denmark may control Greenland right now. I mean, as that part of their country, but I mean, they're one of our greatest allies. So I don't get it. The whole thing to me is kind of squirrely, and I think there's something. Here's a pun: something stinks in Denmark, if you know what I mean. And so, yeah, there's no way you're going to bring back manufacturing. I agree. Yeah, I know. I agree, Joe. You're absolutely right. So you see, everybody, I am on the right track. Everybody's like, well, what's the big freaking deal? I don't get it. And what did they say he wanted to spend? $700 billion to buy them? I'm like, he'd come buy my house for $700 billion. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird, and maybe there's something underlying that we don't know about. But oil, minerals, like I read, I don't know. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, George. I think the general public, the working class like us, we're all so frustrated with all the antics and crap that goes on. And I always feel like all the politicians are over here, like, hey, trying to get your attention to watch this hand while they got their other hand in your front pocket, taking everything they can get from you. As an analogy, I don't know. I was just curious I'm glad to see that there's more than just me that's confused about that. And I wished, I don't know where he's going, but it really sounded like people in Greenland are they're really concerned because there's even been talk of taking it forcibly, and I'm like, what? Why would you do that? I just think there's a lot of other things that we could be working on. Ed, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Dallas land. Hey, what's up? So, I think we could work on the economy. We could work on, there's a lot of things. And here's the thing for me. If I was advising, let me ask this question. I want to see what everybody else says. If you had to give Mr. Trump some advice today that you felt like would be beneficial to the American taxpayers or American people, what one piece of advice would you give him? And he would have to take it and run with it. I agree, George. I don't get that. So what piece of advice would you give Mr. Trump today? If you could give him one piece of advice, what would you tell him? Cam Ski 7 says they don't know what they'd tell him. He got the econ degree. American companies are free to negotiate with Greenland to mine for these minerals. That's what Joe said. 101, sub 101. Yep, I agree. We should never attack allies. I 100% agree with you there. That's just dumb. Yep, I agree. Focus on domestic infrastructure. Yep. I like your setup. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, a little lighter note, I got an email. So everybody knows that I'm an affiliate on TikTok. If you've watched any of my videos, I do have videos where I'm promoting products on TikTok. Some of these signs behind me were purchased by my granddaughters, my wife, me, friends. Some were from TikTok where they were given to me as a sample, being an affiliate. One got affiliate for China. Tap, tap. So the company was asking, I think it was a company that reached out and they do these type of signs. And so of course I requested, I follow procedure like they do on TikTok, and they reach out to you and they offer you a free sample if it's something that you think that you would like to shoot a video for. So you get the product, you have to, some products, depending on their value, require multiple videos. Others are just single videos. And so some of the videos here, but this one company that reached out to me, they make all kinds of signs, and they're asking, you know, if their signs would be on the wall back here and videos done. Of course, I said yes. And so maybe we'll get some more signs in and go from there. Percent resources, but products should be. Yeah, I agree. Tom, take the kiddos. Nicole's got to take the kiddos to school. Well, be prepared, Nicole. They well, I don't know. In Wyoming, yeah, it just depends. If the weather's bad, they may not have school Friday. So yeah. You know, that's funny that you said that. We lost 700,000 jobs, and that's what I'm saying. You know, things to me that frustrate me is when the public is saying, hey, here are our concerns. These are our concerns. And you work for us. I know they think they don't, but, you know, they do work for us. And we would like for you to work on these things. And so when they're getting elected, any of them, it don't matter, Republican, Democrat, if they're a politician and they're trying to get elected, they're going to just tell you what they think you want to hear. And then as soon as they're elected, it's like, did we talk about that? No. And it's like they have their own agenda and they're just off doing whatever. And you know, chaos ensues, it seems like. I don't know. I don't know how do you get that straightened out again? Level Congress, start over. Hey, morning, God, I'm with you there. I've been screaming that for years. Sure. George, you're right. I don't think we've had any great choices for president in a while. I can't really say we've had a great president a very long while. But so here's part of the problem, though. Let's don't lay it all on that one position. Our Congress, we have congressmen that are fools. They're idiots. They don't give a crap about you, me, the weather. It's all about them lining their pockets. period. And it's been proven over and over and over again. Look, how would you like to be able to go to work, give yourself a raise once a year, and you get to decide how much of a raise you get? And people that got to pay you, oh, wait a minute, they don't even have a say. They can't say how much. You make sure that your pockets, you go in with as a millionaire and you come out with 30 or 40 million in just a few years. Really? I mean, that's not what we send people to Congress for, but that's what's happening. And then they get up there and fight each other like a bunch of grade school kids out on the playground, and nothing ever gets accomplished, or very little gets accomplished. And so, yeah, I definitely think there needs to be term limits. But wait a minute. They make sure that the public and the taxpayer never get to vote on that. We don't get we can't say, hey, wait a minute. We want term limits, and here's what we want, and y'all need to get it changed. Or we're going to change it. No, we don't get to change it. And they're damn sure not going to change it. They got a career for life. I heard somebody say something about people in the House of Representatives are quitting. Really? I dare them to quit so that we could put somebody else in there. They're not quitting. They're not doing anything, but they're not quitting. Except, like I said, fighting like a bunch of little kids on the playground in elementary school. I don't know. I get really frustrated with the fact that, we elect these people and put them in there and nobody can get anything done. Nobody. Nothing gets accomplished. And the other thing, if we don't have term limits, they need to have, when there's a bill, it can only be a single item, one item. Can't add anything to it. You can't hide stuff in the bill, and it can't be more than 10 pages. Period. Simplify things, and when it's presented, you have 30 days to either approve it or disapprove it. I mean, they could make things so much easier, and they just don't. And I don't know why. Alan XM, hey man, how's it going over here on YouTube? Thomas, Evan, thank you. What up, Goofy? Let's see. What is it? Do you think the grid will hold up? Yeah, I do. I've got a friend that works for ERCOT. Excuse me, I'm gonna turn the heater off down here. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be that bad. For Central South Texas, I don't think it will be as bad as it might be for North Texas and the Panhandle, West Texas. I think they're going to get some definitely ice and sleet and some cold weather for sure. Watching from Florida. Thank you, Alan. All the way from Florida. Well, it's warm there, I guess. I don't know. I heard that past weekend there was actually some snow there. Connor, what up? Thank you for joining me on YouTube. I appreciate that. The only thing left for the man is to start conquer the country. Yeah, it's dumb. Hey, Casey. So Casey's up there in he's in Minnesota right now still. Looks like your truck's in the shop now to get work done on it. Wow, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they're Texas put a weather state of emergency out last night for this weekend. And, it's for parts of Texas that they feel like they're going to have some ice and road conditions are going to be bad. So we'll see. Why so serious, Join? Good morning. So I don't know if that's really going to be that bad or not. But, I think people freaked out because 5 years ago, we had really bad ice storm, didn't have any power in a lot of places for a week. And that's a real pain in the butt. It really causes lots of problems. So it's been getting down to the 30s. Okay. Yeah. I talked to him yesterday, and he works in IT. So, of course, he just gets scuttlebutt that you hear about ERCOT, just like you would if you worked anywhere else. But yeah, they feel like they're prepared, and it's not going to be an issue at all. You got a small violin out. Oh, is it like this? Yeah, that's what that's supposed to indicate, a small violin. Let me play Boo-Hoo for you. Yeah, I know. If you live up north, the East Coast, the upper Midwest, they have some, we don't have shit for winters compared to what the winter's like there. At all. Tyler, thank you for the rose. Ed, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate you. It's been pretty quiet. Have y'all noticed that? Is it just because I'm talking too much? Probably. Connor, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking, buddy. Snowed all last night. Yeah, Minnesota, they get some really nasty weather. But yeah, so if you're out and about, a lot of people, if you live in an area of the country that gets that kind of weather on a regular basis, I'm sure you're more experienced driving in it. But the really bad part of Leslie, I don't think that we'll see any snow. Right now they're saying possible precipitation, which means, we might get a little sleet. The problem is it's raining right now. And so the roads will get wet. And this is what usually happens in Texas. It rains, or it sleets, or it snows just enough to dust the roads and the areas and the rooftops, and then starts to melt. And then the second round of it will develop ice on all the bridges and roadways. And so the ice is what makes it driving around and travel dangerous. But they're already out spraying in Texas, they don't put down salt, but they do have a chemical that they spray on the roadways to help protect against freezing rain. But if it's wet and it's below freezing very long, or if it's raining or sleeting, you're going to have ice. Even with those chemicals on the roads, they do not totally keep bridges and roads from ice. And just, if it's not real bad, then yeah, I guess they have a benefit. I guess they do. I don't know. I've seen them spray the bridges and stuff and roads, and I can't say that just, oh yeah, they sprayed that bridge, there's no ice there, because I've also seen those same bridges ice over. So how effective it is, I'm not sure. Beetlejuice. Mowing guy, Beetlejuice. Yeah. So but I don't think, Leslie, that we'll get any snow here in Central Texas at all. Jay joined. Good morning. Thank you for joining me on TikTok. Bud Morgan. Hi, everyone. What's the topic? Well, Bud, we were talking about Greenland. We're talking about the craziness that goes on in Congress. Talking about the weather, the winter storm that's moving towards Texas and the south, and possible ice storm. And some people are worried about power outages and the power grid in Texas. Sure ain't hearing anything from strong Republicans lately. No, you're right. Oh my God, you're not, because I think they're a lot like me, just kind of confused why we're focusing on some of the stuff they're focusing on. I don't get it. It's really frustrating. And I've always said this, it's like, if you're conservative or Republican, you have a president that's a Republican, and a Congress, and yet and I've seen it more than once, on both sides of Republican and Democrat, and they spend all their time fighting with each other and not really trying to accomplish anything. Can you imagine? Just imagine this. And this is what I asked earlier. If you could tell somebody, if you could tell Mr. Trump one thing that you would have him do, and he had to listen to you, what would you tell him that he needed to do to make it better for everybody? And instead of off threatening to an ally and wanting to take over another country that's 3 times the size of Texas and covered in ice, I mean, just doesn't make any sense. And I think it doesn't make any sense to any of us, but he acts like he don't care, and he probably doesn't. And so, if there's an underlying reason that we don't know about, just speak up and tell everybody. Good morning, Kristen. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. So, those are the things that I ask, and sometimes I'm really frustrated with the whole process of what they're doing. Just my opinion. So what is everybody? Let's see, what does it say? At my God, Trump makes W look like a liberal. That's too funny. I think people just laugh and finally just throw their hands up and say, there's nothing I can do about it. I try not to watch any of the daily news because it's really not news. It's like Miss Old W. So Wazan, yes, get out your generators ready. I don't have a generator. What was it in 2020 and 2021 when Texas had all that really bad freezing weather for a while, and we had a ton of ice on the roads, and it was bad, and COVID was going on. It was just a nightmare, and lots of people in the area did 2 things. You saw after that storm was over, a lot of people had solar put on their roofs, which, I'm not 100% behind that. But they also went out and got whole house generators, which to me makes a little more sense. Jessica, thank you. Gary joined. Hey, how's it going, Gary? So, those whole house generators, the way they work is, power goes off, it's automatically switched on, and you have power in your house. However, they make different types of whole house generators. Some of them, most of them, the ones that really you should probably have if you're considering one. Yeah, I agree. I think Trump should take some CBD oil and maybe something, a few gummies to go with it, probably. You need to have natural gas. And in Texas, there's a lot of homes are still all electric, but there are a lot of areas where they do have natural gas too. And if you're going to have a whole house generator, those are the best ones to have, because supposedly, if we have a power outage, you still have natural gas. And I'm like, well, do you really have natural gas? Because it's got to get to you somehow, and it doesn't somewhere. something is dependent on electricity. So I don't know. And now the latest and greatest thing is you're starting to see some companies come out where they are putting batteries as if you had solar. You know, like a lot of people have solar and then they'll have a battery backup system. And this is there's a company here in Texas doing it, and there may be other companies in other states doing the same thing too. But they'll come out and they hook up a battery backup system, and they've got one that will keep power on and keep your house going. I think even more at a reduced rate. It won't power everything, but you keep your refrigerators and freezers going, and your cooling or heat going for 2 or 3 hours on that battery. And you can get bigger batteries that will last up to 8 hours. And the reason they don't last long term is because, one, they're a battery, and two, that the majority of power outages, a high percentage of them never last more than 2 or 3 hours. And so there's a lot of people that have gotten those batteries put on their house. I'm not one of them. And the whole gist of it is that when they're not using the batteries, and ERCOT has a surge in electrical need, then they use the energy in those batteries to put back in the grid. And by doing that, you get a lower per kilowatt hour electrical charge. But what they don't tell you when you read the fine print is that there's like a monthly fee you pay for it for the maintenance of the batteries and stuff. So I hadn't quite figured out that that really pays for itself. So that's why I hadn't gotten one. And I still say, if you're going to invest your money and save real money, is you should have foam insulation in your home. It's proven over and over again that you lose 25% of all your energy through the ceiling and up into the attic. And traditional blown-in insulation does pretty good, but most people, if you live in a house a long time, it loses its effectiveness, and it's not perfect by a long shot. And when you foam your attics, I've seen attics that have gone from, in the heat of summer in Texas, attics can be 140 degrees, and I've seen them after they're spray foamed. 100 plus degrees outside, and the attic's 80 degrees, 85 degrees. So that's a big swing in temp. And so, and I think for the money, at first it used to be really expensive, but the price to have that done has come down to, depending on the size of your home, probably $10,000, with probably a 3-year turnaround to break even. So anything under 5 years to break even is usually a good investment. Nick, good morning. George, what's it say? Be sure. Mowing Guide 2028. Anyway, so that's what I think about that part of it. Yeah, well, I hadn't heard that, Kim. Kim's saying that she's heard that if you allow this company to put those battery backup systems on your home, that and you decide you want to sell your home, you have to get some kind of approval from them. So I hadn't heard that one. That's weird. Huh. And Gil Ann says that in Wyoming near Cheyenne, they're building a nuclear power plant. I'm a contractor with an Amish crew. You know, the Amish, there's not very many Amish in Texas, but there is one group of Amish that are east of where I live just a little bit, and they make some furnitures, and I mean, there's some real craftsmen there. I have a porch glider that were built by that Amish group, and I've had it for 20 something years, and it's like it's brand new. Of course, I keep it out of the weather, but yeah. Huh. Yeah, they have they have some real craftsmen. Huh. Looking at land near Denton, Texas. Okay. Didn't know that. That's up around the Dallas Fort Worth area. Four Wheels Warrior USA followed. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. They're moving west. Okay. Alejandro, good morning. Thank you for joining. There needs to be an age limit for the president. I agree. I think there does need to be age limits for the president. So let me ask y'all this. What do you think about our vice president? You know, vice presidents really they're always, they're pretty much in the background after the initial deal, but just out of curiosity, James Speedy 493 joined. Hey man, how's it going? Just like, what do you think about our vice president? What do you think he would make a good president or not? Game changer 5450, please. Wow. Game changer, really? He was attacked for wearing a shirt that said Jesus saves in public? Yeah, that's crazy. And what part of the country was he in? Hey, Fernando, thank you for joining, buddy. Vance is the same as Hexus, Roman MB. Yeah, yeah. I don't really know enough. I mean, I know he's well educated, but Michael says he thinks I think we wouldn't know 100%, but I don't think he would be a bad president either. But it's really hard to tell because when you're a vice president to a president, you somewhat are going to go along with whatever the president says goes. Rob G just joined. Hey man, what's up? Donald's not letting him out of the closet and may not want to. Yeah, I agree, Moin God. I think if I was the VP, I'd stay low key too, because if shit goes south and you're the VP, you don't want to be linked with the person who helped start all that. I'm hoping for a more center. Yeah, George, I agree. I mean, I kind of wish we had. The one thing I can tell you for sure our political system needs is common sense. Where in the hell has it gone? And they need to go back to the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. But if they did that, then everybody would really understand what's going on, and they wouldn't be able to hide all of the things they hide from the American people, my opinion. Yeah, downtown Indiana yesterday. Really? Well, downtown Indiana is it still, are they still celebrating the college football national championship in Indiana. I rooted for him. That was a heck of a game. Christine Playmate. He's too close to the oligarchs. Well, so the two-party system is dysfunctional. I agree. I think that's why I said that they're like a bunch of little kids on a playground fighting all the time, nothing getting done. But every time a third party has tried to come in, I'd say probably the biggest push I ever saw in my lifetime for a third party. Think of his name. Well, I've drawn a blank here. You go to the well. I'm trying to think of the name of the party, but it was when Ross Perot jumped out there and was an independent. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, Perot was a Texan. And I mean, he brought up a lot of stuff, but in the end, all he did was get a Democratic president elected. So, and that's what you see a lot of times. If you got somebody that's a third party and they're kind of like in the middle, they're not super conservative, but they're not super liberal. They're just kind of like right in the middle somewhere. But yeah. So my vote would be, if we were going to start a third party, it would be called Common Sense. Yeah. Play HH. It's on too. Good song. Okay. Well, bud, thanks for the song choice. Thanks for joining us on YouTube too. I appreciate you. Everybody up this time of morning and joining. And George, thank you for like jumping in and really being a part of the conversation. I really appreciate that. That's the whole thing about when we're having a conversation, is that I don't do all the talking, and other people are putting their part in, and it just makes it for a lot better. And I love this time of the day. Somebody asked me, when they're like, well, you lost your job and they pushed you into retirement, and now what are you going to do? Are you just going to stop doing your social media too? And I was like, no. I said, that's the one thing for me that's been somewhat consistent. And so, yeah, no, I'm not going to. I have committed to giving my social media full-time attention for 6 months. And I want to see what I can do doing that. And, 6-8 months from now, I will start drawing Social Security, and, that doesn't replace my salary by a long shot. But, if I can do that and do some social media and generate some cash flow there too. Even though, this whole transition's been kind of pretty difficult for me, I think I will look back and question myself why it was so difficult. And I can't even answer it to you now why it's been difficult. It's different. It's different when you don't have a job. It's different when you have to depend on our Medicare system for medical insurance. It's not crazy expensive in comparison to what I pay now, but the insurance I have now through a big corporation is it's really good insurance. The Medicare system, I think they could really simplify that system so people understood it better. And I mean, if you think about it, I mean, I have a daughter that works in the medical field and it deals with insurance, and she's an office manager and has been for 20 plus years. And you know, it is amazing how many adults don't understand basic things about insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, you know, any kind of insurance. They don't understand. And so I think insurance can be made really much more simpler, and especially Medicare, because I feel like it's like they're playing a game with you. If you're relatively healthy, or you're poor and absolutely just don't have any money to pay for it other than just the Part B part, which has gone up this last year to $203 a month, which is not outrageous, but it's not outrageous for me. It might be outrageous for somebody who's trying to live on $1,500 a month because they have no other retirement funds. That's not me. I haven't done anything wrong. Okay. Yeah. Okay. TikTok is better in the morning till 9ish than the craziest. Come on. I don't know. Yeah. But you know, so, hey, I'm not sure. I just wish that they could make it a lot easier. And the way I feel about Medicare so far, since that's what I've been navigating over the last couple of weeks, is trying to determine whether do you take regular Medicare and then get a Medigap plan and then get a drug plan. That can be really expensive. If you go the other way and you get an Advantage plan, most of the Advantage plans, you don't pay a premium for. But then there's some pretty high deductibles, you know, and things that they don't tell you, even with just the Part B Medicare. You know, if you go into the hospital, depending on how they code when you go into the hospital, if they code you as an inpatient, then you basically, hang on a second here. You basically pay your deductible, and then Part A takes over and pays 100%. If you're not put in under that inpatient, and you're put in, I forgot the term they used, under a different circumstance, you have a 20% coinsurance. And you know, it's not unusual for someone to run up a $300,000 medical bill if something happened to you and you were in the hospital, and you're responsible for 20%. So those are, you know, 80-20, which is like a lot of insurance. It's 80-20, but you know, when you're retirement, and you know, I'm missing something here on TikTok. Sorry. Rick Harrison just joined. Hey man, Brains World. Hey, what's up, bro? TikTok's haven't done it wrong. My entire anatomy inheritance. Okay. Well, do you know Nick Fuentes? I think he would be very good third party. I haven't. Nick Fuentes. I'm going to write that down. No, I don't know him, Will. Huh. So you think Nick Fuentes will run in the next election, huh? I'll have to look him up here. Yeah. Top of the morning. Hey, Brian's World. Where are you from, Brian? Restore and renew. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that, guys. If you're new here, let me know where you're from. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. It really helps. It helps me continue to grow the TikTok followers. Of course, if you've not heard me ever say, for some reason, there's a real magic number of followers. I guess they like you to get to that 10,000. So I'm still working on moving in that direction. For me, it's more about building a consistent group of people who like to wake up, have a cup of coffee, talk about the day, have some fun. You know, I don't know if any of you saw the video I posted. I think I posted on YouTube and on TikTok, and it was so I do different things. Sometimes it's question of the day. Sometimes it's what would you do? I started a kind of a new question regarding job hunting. And I did that because I have, you know, in the company reorg, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of guys that are not as fortunate as I feel like I am. They're not in the same situation. You know, I have a wife. She has a pension. You know, I don't have a lot of debt. I own my home, my cars. So, you know, if something like that were to happen, that's probably the best scenario you could be in. America Off Grid followed. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'll go check out your channel. And so, you know, these guys are guys that are young with families. A lot of times they are the sole provider. And so, you know, worry sets in really quick because, you know, maybe they had only been with the company 2, 3, 4 years. And, you know, basically they got a month's pay and said, see ya. Well, if everybody here has probably been laid off at least one time in their life if you've been around very long. And I can tell you, it's a scary thing when you realize that, you know, you're wondering how you're going to buy groceries, pay rent, pay for your car. You know, we're not talking about people worrying about, hey, I can't go on vacation next week. No, we're talking about, hey, are we going to have enough money to buy gas? Can I pay the rent that's due? I mean, so it's a really scary time for people. And if you've been out on the market and you're looking for a job, you know, it's not like when I was a kid and you were looking for a job, you know, you rushed to the local newspaper and, you know, opened it up and went through, there was a job section and you know, spent several hours going through looking for jobs that you thought you might be interested in. It's not like that anymore. It's like ZipRecruiter and LinkedIn and I mean, and there's a lot of other sites, job hunting sites. And, you know, it's like, upload your resume. Oh, your resume looks like crap. You need to rewrite it. So you rewrite it. Then somebody else says, what? Your resume looks like this. It should be that. You know, I was so my opinion is, and there's lots of opinions out there. They're like, you know what? Everybody's got one and nobody needs one. Is that you should keep your resume to a single page for most people. And the reason is when you apply for a job and there's 150 applicants for that job, how much time do you think that they're going to spend looking at a 2 or 3 page resume? Well, I can tell you they're not. We didn't. You know, when we were hiring, the one pagers or anything more than one page, we didn't even look at because we didn't have time to look at them. You know, if you have a good one page, it really should just contain your most important information. You know, people go like, well, I had to tell them I have a college degree. Nope, you don't need to tell them that because if they want to know, they're going to ask you in an interview, and then there you go. Well, I need to tell them we got references. No, you don't need to tell them that you have references. If they want references, they'll ask for them, and then you can give it to them. A lot of places want a cover letter and a resume. So, I mean, and you get out there and it's just crazy. What did I say? The one yesterday was like job hunting was like going fishing. You have to throw out all these lines and you're just waiting for one good bite. Anyway, I'm just trying to come up with some different stuff to, lighten the mood. Cause it's really frustrating when you put out 100, you have to put out 100 job searches and you're constantly, looking at, and job searching turns into a full-time job. It can be really depressing. And, another one I said, I posted out there was, have you ever, and this happened to me with the last job that I just got laid off from. You put out all these feelers and you don't hear anything. And then a month, 2 months later, out of the clear blue, somebody, and in my case, somebody actually pulled my resume off of LinkedIn. So I'd never even applied with them and offered me a job. And so, then they come at you like, oh, hey, we got your resume off of whatever. And you don't recall ever even applying to go to work there. So yeah, that does happen. And there's some other things that are out there too. So it's just basically to, something to kind of be a little lighthearted and get people's mind off of worrying that they won't get a job. A lot of people start to question their value. I can tell you that just from things that have happened to myself. So, just calling the guys up, letting them know they got experience, they got value, and they have something unique to offer employers. And so I hope they all are able to find jobs soon. The job market's been kind of crazy here, especially for technology and other people too, I'm sure. But I also, the advice I've given out is like, don't, I know you want to work in technology, but, maybe it's time to look at other avenues. And so, yeah, try to pass that along to them too. What is this? Sorry, I'm looking at a message over here. Al PKRK 4146. So I'm just going to call you 4146. Huh. Well, I guess you don't really got much to say. We're not even talking about any of that today, say. Okay? Lord Scone, hey, how's it going? It's tough out there. It is tough out there. How's the weather by me? The weather's really not been bad. We've had some cooler weather, but supposedly supposed to have our first, what I call really winter storm moving towards Texas over the weekend. So, I think they said Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I think by Monday it's still going to be cool. But if there are any ice or sleet or anything like that, that by Monday the temperatures will be high enough that it'll melt all that off. So yeah. And in Texas, people say ice. Oh my God, we're not going to have any power. We're not going. They overreact a lot of times. So. Yeah, it's coming. That's what the weatherman says. Can you imagine that? How would you like to be a weatherman and know that at least half of the time, if not more, when you predict the weather, you're wrong and you don't get fired? Can you imagine that? If you went to work and half the time the job you were doing was wrong and you never got fired, that's a weather guy for you. They predict the best weather in the summer months, not in the winter. because you just don't have the fluctuation of, but then they have times of the year that it's crazy too. So ice is no fun. Yeah. I think we'll make it. I'm not expecting anything super bad. Weatherman job has to be hard when you're seeing it. That's funny, George. Yep. George says the weatherman's job has to be hard when you're seen at the grocery store after you've predicted an ice storm's coming. Paul Ferris Ford joined. Hey man, how's it going? Oh, that's too funny. That is just too funny. So people, sometimes the weather is really bad and you do need to listen to them. And then other times, they're trying to get people to watch them. And so we have a local guy here that he is not a meteorologist. He is not on TV, but he is a real avid weather guy. And what's so funny is he posts his weather forecast on Facebook. And so, if you can join his Facebook group, it's free. And he does regular, weather forecast, just like somebody on TV. And I don't know if the guy's retired or he has another job and this is just kind of his hobby. But do you know 9 times out of 10, his forecast is more accurate than the local weather guys. And so I find that kind of funny. And, sometimes he agrees with them. And other times he's like, And he even explains that the local weather guys look at like 2 different weather models, whereas he looks at multiple weather models, and sometimes by not just looking at 2 different ones and looking at more choices, your weather forecast would be more accurate. Robert Tinga Tools USA. Hey there. Came across live on my feed. Great. As a transplant Houston. Oh, down in Houston. Okay. Now living in Cincinnati. Okay. It won't be that bad. It's currently 27 in Cincinnati. Dad still lives in Houston. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that bad here either. Surprise me. I always tell you, I'm from the show me state. Show me that it's going to be bad. Maybe that's not the way to be, but hey, you never know. James Groner, show me where. Oh man, yeah, I don't think I want to go down that road. That's crazy. Mark 4466, how's it going this morning? TV people don't know Jack. That's what Lord Jacone said on TikTok. TV people don't know Jack or Jill. That's crazy too. But yeah, so there's supposed to be a little winter storm and stuff, and I don't think it's going to be too bad. I am going to try to. I've got 3 panels to finish on the insulation job of the garage door, so that's going to get taken care of today. Over the weekend, had a family member who had a really bad stroke and is in the hospital. So we're going to the hospital today to check on them. The outcome doesn't look really good. So yeah. Yeah, strokes can be a really bad thing. Of course, one of the guys that worked with me, of course, he was a type 1 diabetic too, in his early 50s, and had a stroke. Didn't come to work one day, and I thought, and I knew he was a diabetic, and I thought maybe, and he lived by himself, he wasn't married, and his family was in Chicago, and he was in Texas. And so luckily I knew where he lived, went by his house, and His car was there, but he wouldn't answer the door. I couldn't get the apartment complex to do a welfare check, so I had to call the police. Of course, when I called the police, then the apartment people were like, "Oh, please don't kick the door in." I was like, "I don't have anything to do with that." But the police got there and they couldn't get in, and eventually they had to kick the door in to get in, and found him in the floor. And I thought, and they thought too, that he was in a coma from a diabetic issue, but he had actually had a stroke, a bad stroke, and was nearly dead. And if we hadn't found him when we did, he would have been dead. He spent the next probably year in hospitals and rehab. His family came and got him, took him back to the Chicago area. He was on outpatient rehab, went to bed one night, had a second stroke, and didn't make it. So strokes can be, be crazy, and especially if you're a diabetic, the chance of having a stroke's even worse. And I can't imagine. The prognosis for, she's 73, but the prognosis is that she won't make it. But she won't make it how long? She could be in the facility for a month, a day, tomorrow. It's hard to say, but so we're going to go meet with some family members and see her today. And there are miracles. People do recover, but the type of stroke she had was hemorrhagic. It's the worst kind, and brain bleed. However, she still can respond if you talk to her. Not talk to you, but move her hand or squeeze your hand or something like that. So, yeah. So anyway, that's one of the things on our list of things to do today. You found it. You got out. Watch out for each other. Yeah, we do. Let's see what else. I am starting a new project. I'm going to do, so this wall here, I'm going to do on the other side, if I hadn't mentioned that to you. And when I do the other side, I'm actually going to film and kind of create a little video so you can see how I do that. It's really, when you see it, you're going to go, oh, that was easy. I could do that. And I think most people could. Now, whether you would or not, I don't know, but you definitely could. And I'll take a before and after, like, okay, this is what the wall looks like before. I've taken all the stuff off of it. It is a finished sheetrock wall, but it does have some gouges and stuff in it. After 20 years, it's not in perfect condition. But I really like, the main thing I like about that and this will probably do a little more than half of that side. Probably, I could probably do one whole side for around $300. And you never have to paint it. And the cedar smells pretty nice, and then you can go from there. So I'm gonna create a little short video there so you can see that one too. I'm looking forward to see that on my face. I do, so Robert, I do different videos, tool reviews, projects, how-tos, most recently, with TikTok jumping in there, this is just my opinion, but I think I'm on track, is I started doing videos in 2019, went through COVID, and YouTube was really just exploding. And I think it's because everybody was at home and didn't have a job, and so they were on YouTube. So that is why everyone were watching YouTube videos, long form videos for entertainment. And so that's kind of how that got started and did well. And then, then everybody goes back to work, and YouTube becomes kind of my side gig, and I work on it when I have time. And I'm still posting videos, but not posting videos daily, but a few every month, 3 or 4 every month, and because that's all I could dedicate to it with work and stuff. So yeah. So I built a student desk. It's pretty basic stuff. I showed somebody how to. I did a video I thought might do better about how to fix your toilet. How to install a license plate. I did this one on a Saturday by myself. I was like, nobody's really going to give a crap about how I'm installing a license plate holder on a used car that didn't have one. And in the state of Texas, you have to have a front license plate. And that's why I was doing it. And it was my granddaughter's first car. And so I bought a license plate holder, but there were no mounting brackets or holes or anything in the bumper to mount it to. And so I was like, wow. And the reason is because some of the trim had been replaced. It wasn't factory trim on the front. Later find out that Ford Escape had a cracked block in it. That was 2 or 3 months later, and ended up having to get rid of it. So yeah, but anyway, so I figure out a way to do it with some rivets and stuff, and so I show a step-by-step deal and what I did, and I thought nobody's ever going to watch this, and you'd be surprised. It's one of the videos that gets watched a lot. And then I have a video where I showed how to fix a Ryobi battery that won't charge, and did just different tools and stuff that I've done over the I've got a lot of videos on TikTok, but I've probably got 400 plus on YouTube. So there's a lot to watch. Some of them are good. Some of them probably suck. It's hard to say. When you make content, everything's not great. You try to get better as you do it. But some projects, there's a few videos I've made, and I'm like, oh, that a lot of people will really want to watch that. That turned out to be good. And it just does okay. And then other videos that I'm like, I don't know if anybody really will watch that. And they explode. So I have no idea. I just I put the content out there. If you like it, you watch it. If you don't like it, you won't watch it. And then I try not to stress over it or think about it. I just keep moving forward, and that's all I can do. And if I had one wish today, and I could, and I could make that wish last me probably a week. I would want to be I would turn myself into a really smart, good looking blonde woman that was really attractive and knew how to create content to post on the web. And I would probably double or triple the number of followers I have, but that's never going to happen. And so you get an old geezer like me. That's you get what you get, and I do the best I can. But yeah, so both channels are growing, and that's a plus. And it's really more about making friendships, knowing when people come on that I know who you are, you know who I am. You can either like my content or not follow me or whatever. I'd like to see it grow faster, but I'm not in control. I just do the best I can, and we'll see where it takes us. So yeah, if you're, I always tell everybody too, if you create, so especially on TikTok, if you don't create content and we don't have any kind of like you know me or I know you, or you know I see your profile a lot. I may not follow you back, and the main reason is because you're limited. Everybody's limited to 10,000 followers. I mean, I can't follow more than 10,000 people, so I try to follow people with content so that I can help them out and I can share their content and that type of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with not being a content creator and being on TikTok because it's entertainment. I get it. And you can still participate. But just, I always tell people that because I've had a couple people say, well, you didn't follow me. And I'm like, well, I went to your page and you don't have anything there. So it's hard to promote what you do, but you know, we can still talk. And if you join the lives, well, I'll dang sure, you know, promote and get everybody that I can to follow you. But it's a lot easier to gain followers if you have some original content. Even if you put some content on there and you're not trying to, you know, grow a big business or do anything like that, just some content with your face on it or you talking, maybe just something that introduces yourself. So I think that really helps. Cheech and Chong's back. What's up, buddy? It's all good here on Wednesday. Thanks, man. Thanks for asking. Colt makes join. Thanks, man. Let me look here. So I hope that answered your question, Robert. Yeah. So I'm what I've learned. One of the things I've learned is that, you know, if I can make how-to videos, those videos over time last and continue to get views because, you know, if somebody, I mean, I can tell you what I go to YouTube for 99% of the time is I want to know how to do something, or I want to see how somebody did something because there's so much I don't know how to do, but I've learned how to do things just by watching multiple creators post how they do things on YouTube. So I use it just like everybody else does. So that's why I think making how-to videos. However, with YouTube and TikTok, you know, you have to be consistent, really consistent, because you stop posting, people just go away and they don't watch your videos. They don't, you know, people think you can just post videos and then stop and you're good. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You have to constantly be posting. Some of the stuff I post I think is good. Some of the stuff I post, I go back and look at it and go, wow, that was dumb. So yeah, that's the things you learn when you are creating content on the internet. Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, you know, I kind of think so too. At least that's the way my growth's been. You know, I probably, you know, I saw on TikTok a big growth when I had, I think I have one video on TikTok that's at about 1.9 million views. And that one video has made me money and also a lot of followers. But I can tell you what consistently, my opinion, and why I started doing a live every, you know, Monday through Friday is because it gains followers and I get to know you, you get to know me. And I even did a poll on, you know, on YouTube. You can put a poll out there, and that was really, I was kind of shocked. I want to pull it up over here on the side so I can see it. Oh, there it is. Is that where that is? No, that's the wrong one. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at two different screens. One's behind the other. So minimize. And it's blocking my view. All right, here it is. So one of the, and of course, didn't get as many, not as many people voted on it as I thought would. But one of the questions I asked of YouTube was like, what would you like to see on the live? Do you prefer to talk about everyday issues? Do you like question for question? Hey, Daniel, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Do you like to do trivia questions? And so that was the poll. And the last question was, or is that part of the next one? Okay. No, that's part of the next one. So out of 6 people that voted, 67% of the people said they like to talk about just everyday issues. And then 17% was question for question, and 17% was trivia questions. So, and I pretty much thought that everybody liked to talk about everyday issues. I've had different ones that come up. And I'm trying to get better at it so that what I would really like to have is, or figure out a way to do is where I actually have not a script per se, but just a list of things that to discuss, and me be knowledgeable enough about them to lead the discussion. And that's time consuming, and that's one thing I hadn't had a ton of here recently, but I'm working towards that. And then the other poll question I asked, and it only got 5 votes, was, were you more likely to follow a creator if they had a live stream and they were on a regular schedule? And if you answered yes, my opinion was, live streams help viewers truly get to know the creator. And I do agree with that. I do think that if you join live streams, you get a better sense of the creator that's, running the live. Of course, we're all behind a phone or a computer, so you only know what you see or what you hear me say, and same thing for me. But 20% of the people said they were more likely to follow someone with a live stream on a regular schedule, but 80% of the people said no, and that was probably the one that I might have to disagree with. Maybe I need more votes on that to get a true number. But just my opinion is I'm more likely to follow somebody who has a live stream that I was joining, or somebody like on YouTube. A lot of times I follow people who post regularly, and maybe I find them for multiple reasons. Sports show, I'll follow people. This past year I started following Josh Pate. If you're on YouTube much, you've probably seen him. But there's a lot of guys out there that do woodworking and all kinds of stuff. So there's a guy out of Arkansas who was a state trooper, and I don't know why he chose to no longer be a state trooper, but he did, and he started a woodworking business, and he's got a lot of great videos, and talks about tools and shows how to build projects, and I guess he's doing okay. So so he's another one that I kind of follow. But if you're on my lives very long, you're going to find out that I want everybody to follow everybody. I want you to follow me, but I'm going to do the same for you, and I want you to follow each other. And so, like, if I see somebody, like for instance yesterday, Tractor Man 44, and he has a presence on TikTok and YouTube, and I was telling people, hey, you need to go check him out. He's got a good content out there. Same thing with Ed. Ed's our Lutheran minister that's longtime supporter from day one on TikTok. He's been guiding me and giving me support and through retiring and all of that. And so, and he continues to support. and Cow Cop, who is a peace officer in the Texas Panhandle. So, all these people that you meet, I try to tell people, hey, man, go check them out. Go check out their podcast because it's people I like. And so I recommend them to other people. What's this? 67761717 trivia. Homie. Huh. What is that, homie? I don't think I know what you're talking about. 6'7". So yeah, that's 6'7" is like something. It's a slang that kids. I've heard them say it, but it's different. So anyway, yeah. So those were some polls I put out there that I thought was different. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Are you more likely to follow somebody that you meet and join their live streams, or are you more likely to follow somebody that creates videos that you watched? Maybe both. And do you feel like that, doing live streams help you interact with the creator or not? I don't know. I think it does for me, but I can't speak for everybody else. Gangster from China. God bless America. Thank you, man. Somebody had some messages held in review from TikTok. From YouTube. I'm kind of curious. I wonder what that is. I'll have to look at those messages later. Oh man, look down. It's 7:41. I know a bunch of y'all have to go to work. So thank you for joining me today here on Wednesday, the 21st. Oh, did anybody notice I did actually get a new pair of glasses so I can see a little better, especially the little small print. It's definitely clearer. I hadn't had a new pair of glasses in 5 years, so I had to break down to get a pair while I still had insurance before it runs out. And today is a trip to the dentist, so I'm gonna get that done. No contacts. No, I tried contacts a long time ago, and I can't stand to have anything in my eye, so they really bother me. And I tried multiple times wearing contacts, and I'm not a good candidate for contacts. So yeah, I just prefer glasses. The glasses I had that I wore for 5 years, I hated them, but I'd already paid for them and paid a lot for them, so I was going to wear them until I wore them out, and finally I was able. If you're ever looking for men's glasses, the selection's slim in a lot of places. I don't really like the real thick plastic rim glasses, which mine weren't thick, but they were still more than I like, and so I like this style better. They're a little light, they're lighter weight, and anyway, they are what they are. So I did get a new pair of glasses, so hopefully it'll help my reading and I won't have to squint so much. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining me for Morning Coffee Talk. Don't forget, go out and do something kind today, because you never know what your kindness is going to do or how it can change somebody's day or their life. And I'm open. If any of you want to send me an email to daveshop2@gmail.com, let me know if you have any ideas or something you want to talk about on the show. We'll surely do that. And I asked yesterday, but we kind of have a little bit of a different group today too. There's an opportunity for me to do a giveaway. What's the name of the company is Super Clean, and they sell a degreaser and some other items like that. And you've probably seen them in online, and I think it's some of their products are sold at Walmart and some other stuff, other retailers too. But they've reached out, and if I want to do a giveaway, then I'm just trying to get some insight on whether any of you think, yeah, that's great. And the way that would work is everybody would have to send me an email to, you'd have to like, share, follow, and then you'd have to send me an email that you wanted to enter in the contest. And then we'd do a live, we'd set a time. You have to have it all done within whatever, 2 weeks, a week, whatever we decide. And then we would do the drawing of the name and the winner during a live. And at that point, that person would need to send me their full name, address, and a contact phone number so that I could send that to the marketing department at Super Clean, and they would ship the products directly to your home. So you're out no money, but if that's something that you'd like to do or you think that would be fun, definitely we could do that. And, we could even do something as far as we could have a trivia day where if you answered the trivia question, if you were the first person to answer the trivia question, you could get your name dropped in the hat more often. So maybe that would be fun. That way you would have more than one entry. You could send the email, that would be an entry. You could then maybe we'd play trivia, and for every answer that you answered correctly first, your name would go in the hat again. So that would increase your chance. And then, like I said, I'd just put them in something and write them on paper, and we would do a drawing, and you'd get something free. So if y'all think that that's a good idea, send me an email, send me a message on TikTok or YouTube. And sometime, we need to kind of plan this because they don't leave these open forever, but they just reached out to me this week. So maybe by the end of the week, we'll know if everybody's interested in doing a giveaway or not. Maybe you've used Super Clean, maybe you hadn't, I don't know. I use it. I think it's a great degreaser. It's especially, they got a good wheel cleaner, and but I use it a lot on my grill and my smoker, the outside of it, because you get, it gets greasy. And then also my wife uses it on our stovetop. When you're cooking, you get any place that gets grease on it from cooking and stuff. And there's a lot of other applications you can use it for, but it's for an over-the-counter degreaser, it's probably one of the better ones that I've ever used. So if you're interested in something like that, let me know so that I can make a decision whether we're going to go forward or not. I don't want to go forward if nobody wants to participate. I only want to do it if it looks like we got people that want to participate. So anyway, have a great rest of your day. I'll be back here tomorrow, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time for Morning Coffee Talk with Dave. Thank you for all your support. Have a wonderful day.